Welcome guys to the first video of my channel, and every other video I've sent so far is a re-upload from another channel. This channel will be for Jujutsu Infinite mainly, and any other JJK game I see fit to show you guys. But for today's video, we're going to be briefly discussing the exchange event, Awakenings V2, and Heavenly Restriction, because I don't really see a lot of people discussing Heavenly Restriction, if it's worth it, and the ideal stats for that. So quickly to go into the exchange event is the latest storyline mission we have, and in there you have multiple modes, and to say briefly, some are PvP based, some are PvE based. So you kind of have a mix going on there. And you're going to want to do that because one, just like ranked, you have chests you could get from there, you have armor you could get from there, which you will see they have really good stats. Some are better for HR, some are better for sorcerers, and the golden ticket is the last two weapons you have on the tier lists there, along with the binding vows that change how your moves work. And you got the quest for your awakenings, and the awakenings you get updated to the visuals, you get passives in this tier 2, and you get active moves you use. And basically, when you get the active moves, it'll be in your hotbar like a weapon. You select it, and you have two moves you could use, and they usually have a cooldown of 50 to 60 seconds, and they have really beautiful visuals, and they have they have really good damage. I will say so myself. And the things you have to do depend on what awakening you have. The top three are Black Flash Arms, Curse Marks, and Steel Arms. They are the longest to do, while everything else is, easy. You really get everything at tier 2 for them, so it's easier to unlock stuff for them. What else? Each tier is more difficult than the other. So, like, they ask for a specific amount of wins and a specific amount of matches, and they increase for each tier you go through. For Black Flash Arms, you begin with just landing 25 axe kicks and 25 rising kicks. And then as you progress, it goes from, again, 25, but then you have to land it with Black Flashes rather than just standard hits. I don't know tier 3 yet. I'm doing tier 2 right now, but that's what's going on with them. Now with Exchange Event, again, it's a mix of PvP and PvE. And as you get more acquainted with the game, you're going to notice there's different stat builds you're going to want to use depending on what you're doing. A stat build you use for PvE will not be the best for PvP in Ranked or Exchange Event. And I make that distinction between Ranked and Exchange Event critically because they also require a different stat spread. Not even because Exchange Event has PvE also, but because, you have Ranked where you just have a controlled area where you're fighting one person, so you're able to account for every little thing the person does, to then Exchange Event, which is usually chaos, where you're fighting sometimes 2 people by yourself or 3 people by yourself, and it's just kind of chaos. You're going to be fighting one guy, and then suddenly you're going to get third partied by another guy. So it's chaos, right? And in ranked 1v1s, you're going to be looking at that one person. You're going to be seeing, okay, what move is he using? Let me block this. Let me dodge this, right? Since it's chaos and exchange event, you're not always going to see what they're using against you. Like, for example, in ranked 1v1s, face grab most of the time is going to be blocked. But in exchange events, since there's so much chaos, most people don't even see that you're using face grab. So basically 90% of the time, you're going to land it. Unless you're kind of isolated from everyone else, and then it's a 1v1. But my favorite thing to use for exchange event is Heavenly Restriction, which is why the first video I will be making today is for Heavenly Restriction. Is it worth it? Kind of depends. It's $20. There were talks to make it free and to lock slots to Heavenly Restriction if you have it equipped, but they have not said anything else as of late. That was a few months ago that they said that, but there was no new update on that. So for now, it's paid for. I imagine if they make it free to play, it will be locked to slots do you have it equipped on. And if you already have it, obviously, like, you paid for it, you don't have to grind for it. like the general public would have to do if they did not buy it. For Heavenly Restriction, I will say blatantly it's not meant for PvE. It's really something you use for PvP primarily. It's good in ranked. It's even better in exchange event. I've seen quite a few people play it. Um, I only say it's worth it if you have a job, and I'm not gonna say this as a insult, but the reason being is because realistically, there's a lot of better things you could get with $20. And just for Heavenly Restriction, I will not say it's worth $20. But if you have a job, you know, it's whatever. You have the extra money you saved. So you have the ability to do so. You know, it's a nice thing to get for the game. It's a good experience to have. And it yields a really good build. And really with Heavenly Restriction, you have some people invest into Sparks of Black, but I don't believe that's bring the most out of Heavenly Restriction. What Heavenly Restriction is really about is being tanky, aggressive, and just annoying as hell to fight. Because as a sorcerer, you don't you don't move as fast. You don't have a lot of options to close the distance. You don't hit as hard with melee. Um, and that's kind of the biggest distinctions. While with Heavenly Restriction, I use the quick dashes. I use face grab at close distance. I have bloodlust to do more damage. And face grab into Jujutsu Koroshi is basically a true combo, and it does a lot of damage. And you will see that in the next video I post, which is gonna be a video I took yesterday of me using this build in ranked. So I hope you guys do enjoy that. But yeah, that's really what Heavenly Restriction is about. With Sorcerer build, you're kind of playing between passive, defensive, and offensive. You're kind of squishy. You don't do too much damage, so fights take a while longer. With Heavenly Restriction, you know, I could be fighting, I would rather be fighting a 2v1 or a 3v1 with Heavenly Restriction than a regular Sorcerer build. I will say that much. And with a Heavenly Restriction build, to make the most out of it in Exchange Event, you want to be in the thick of it. Because, one, you don't have to worry about domain expansions, because you're basically immune to most of them. With the exception of you get 5-second stun from Unlimited Void, and with domains that rely off of hits rather than sure hits, like, for example, Hanami's domain, Dagon's domain, Construction's domain. Those domains, since they're move based, they will still hit you since it's not a sure hit. So keep that in mind. But aside from that, either way, someone pops a domain, I literally just run into it because, okay, let me save my teammates that are affected by the sure hit, and let me just put so much pressure on the domain user that he either has to focus on me and do his best to fight me and lay off my teammates, or I'm just gonna kill him as quick as possible while he tries fighting my teammates, and the domain will end and my teammates will survive. That's kind of what you want to do. You don't fight stragglers. You stay in the thick of it, and you got blitz also. You want to move fast, react fast, do as much as you can really fast. You gotta stay on the aggression. Now with reverse curse technique, you see I invested in burst RCT, a lot of black flash damage, extra focus token, and a lot in strength. And you know, I only put in technique increase because I hate having leftover stat points, so I just put it there so it could be somewhere. But really, I just put into technique awaken and that's it. Um, and let me give you a play-by-play. To make the most out of a tanky build like Heavenly Restriction, you want to have Burst RCT. Burst RCT, you are open for 3 to 4 seconds, but you could use a move like Rising Kick to hit them away, heal up while they're ragdoll, and you'll heal almost a quarter of your HP back, which lets you fight longer. Let's say I fight 2 people and I win, which you're gonna see. I think it's in the no, I sent that one out in a short as a short video on TikTok and YouTube, but I fought 2 people. And then my buddy jumped in later on, but I fought 2 people. And as you see, I was able to heal up after tanking a hollow purple. And I was able to heal up after the fight too. I was able to get back to full HP, and I was basically ready for the next fight. Whereas if you invested in Sparks of Black, let's say if I survived that, I would be at barely a quarter HP and I would have to go to the next guy to kill him. But thing is, you don't want to die because then you're going to give a kill to the opposing team, which then helps them win. So you want to be survivable. So with exchange event, again, you're gonna get jumped, undoubtedly. You want to be survivable, you want to be fast and aggressive. Again, be in the thick of it. And as you use the moves from Heavenly Restriction, you're gonna know what's a true combo, how to disorient your opponent. Because again, this the combat in this game is kind of wonky, I will admit. It's very movement based. You want to disorient your opponent and keep aggression on them. Because as you know, one slip up and you're going to have to sit through a whole combo before your vent bar fills up. So if you keep the pressure on the opponent and you make them lose their cool, then you're going to undoubtedly kill them. Like, you're going to put belt to ass. Now, occasionally, here's the weakness. If you have a composed guy that's played the game for a long time and knows what he's doing, he's going to block your face grab. He's going to block your Jujutsu Goroshi. He's going to block your blitz. And here's the thing. Here's the weakness. Face grab, if they block it, now you teleport to them at least. But all these moves, if you miss them, they have a good amount of M lag. And a lot of veteran players that play a lot of PvP will be able to, while you're in end lag and not able to do anything, close the distance and start their combo on you. So do keep that in mind. Be aggressive, but if you see a guy's blocking a lot of your hits, switch to playing passive. Let him make a mistake rather than you making yourself open to a mistake, right? And as you fight, this goes for any build, assess the techniques your opponent is using, and off of that, you could kind of be like, okay, this guy's running Infinity, and so he's gonna have Red Reversal to try and trap me. Let's say I try and close the distance, he's gonna pop Red Reversal to punish me. And I don't see this a lot, but Red Reversal has Hyper Armor. And if you did not know, if someone uses Tendril, you could activate Red Reversal, it won't be cancelled, and when they pull you in, Red will explode, which will punish them, and you can then combo extend off of that. If you did not know. And if you do not know, there's some people that gatekeep information. I'm not going to gatekeep any information. So with this channel, I have a playlist. I have playlists for builds. I have playlists for Q&A. I have playlists for gameplay, streams. I'm trying to remember the other one. But yeah, the Q&A one, if you ask me a question in the comments and I think it's something that the whole public would probably want to know the answer to, I'm going to make a video on it and tell you honestly and go as in depth as possible with it. If there's something you don't know what's going to come out later on, I'll tell you in that Q&A right there. Right now, I don't really have much videos right now. The other videos are re-uploads, and this is the first video for the channel. But as we go on, you're able to look through the playlist and see what I have available for you. So don't be afraid to leave a comment, ask a question. I'll answer in the comment. And if it's something that the public should hear about, I'll also not only respond to you, but I'll also address it in a video which you will find in the Q&A. Now, not only will I answer your questions, I will also, some people are banned from the server for right or wrong reasons. Some people may ask, you're only banned from a server if you do something wrong. Not necessarily. Sometimes it could be for something stupid you really didn't really do. If you did not know, and I will just tell this to you so that it does not happen to you because I saw it happen to people. If someone makes a suggestion that is edgy, right? Edgy but funny, or just straight up edgy. If you so even put a crying emoji, you could get banned for that. Because back in the tester days, it did happen where someone put a joke that went against the rules in suggestions, and every single person that reacted with an emoji, whether it been an X, whether it been a crying emoji, any of that matter, they were banned. So it was not only the person that sent that suggestion, but anyone who reacted with an emoji. So that's why I give the benefit of the doubt. I don't gotta know why you were banned, but if you were banned, I understand you probably don't know what's going on, what they're working on, what will come out, stuff of that nature. So if you have a question, ask me and I'll let you know, is it coming out? And if I know when it's coming out, I'll let you know about that too. And I'll try to let you know as much information as possible And if you have build requests, you can let me know. My next build I'm gonna play around with Hanami. I used her build in ranked 1v1s a while back, but I have not um made one for exchange event. I just gotta play around with it, see what moves I like for exchange event and what moves I don't like. And what you're gonna notice with me, right? You may ask, well, why do I need to ask for what build to use if I want to roleplay Sukuna? Obviously, we could just use its slashes, right? It's literally the technique of Sukuna, so why ask you? You basically just have to run a full kit from Sukuna. Here's why. A lot of times you're gonna see this if you don't do this already. I know some people only have 2 slots because they don't have Robux to pay for extra technique slots, but eventually you're gonna see people that like to mix up the techniques they use. For better or worse, some mix-ups are not good, some mix-ups are good, and they have different reasonings for it too. Either whether it wants to be like a manga accurate kind of thing or functional. With Gojo, I do a lot of mix-ups for that because there's some moves that for 1v1s are not so good. So I mix it up with, like, let's say projection. Projection, I will say, is a staple. You can never go wrong with projection. And I would say a lot of people like saying Unlimited Void is the best domain in the game. I would say projection is better. Because the thing is, with Unlimited Void, you do stun them for 10 seconds and they can't do anything. But the thing is, with projection, when the eye opens, whether you're blocking, attacking, uh, dashing, you're gonna get frozen, and that leaves you open for a combo. And I would rather take that, like stuns every so often, rather than a stun that's only for the first duration of a domain expansion. So I would say, in my personal opinion and experience, Time Cell Moon Palace is better than Unlimited Void. I've been jumped in my own domain for Time Cell Moon Palace. People have popped their maximums in my domain to heal up and try and finish me off, and I've been at lower health than them, right? I got jumped in a domain with what, like 1,000 HP left, and I still killed them both because the domain was just that good. It helped slow them down because, again, if they're blocking, they're attacking me. If they're dashing, they're gonna get frozen, and that leaves them open to my combos. So that's my reasoning as to why Time Cell Moon Palace is better. So last thing I will say again. Oh, I almost forgot. Okay, this is the armor I use. Eyes of Bloodthirst, Fantasis, Lime T-shirt of Legend, which you get from Ranked, Clean Up Crew Bottom from Ranked, Jade Wrist Beads from Exchange Event, and Black Hole Buddy from Calamity Boss. This is not the ideal thing. Lime T-shirt is the best, but I think, you should do Calamity Boss for the red reversal armor for outerwear, head, and I think pants. But yeah, they are better. I'm too lazy to get that armor for my heavenly restriction. Honestly, what I have is good enough. I have 489 melee, 251 technique, 335 health. So I would say I'm well set off, so I'm not really gonna do that. But if you guys wanted to, you could do the Calamity for those armors. But if not, this is what I use for Heavenly Restriction, along with Infinity Piercer. And this is my health. This is my focus. This is my technique. You don't really need the 3 in technique increase. It's just because, again, I don't like seeing a remainder of 3 unused. And then this is my strength. But to clarify, I only have Uplift and X Smash because of the requirements for Black Flash arms. Otherwise, instead of this, I would take off Uplift, I would take off X Smash, I would get Killer Instincts. Yeah, I would just, like, instead of these two, I would just get Killer Instincts. Everything else would be the same. But that's my ideal build for Heavenly Restriction. Best instances to use them. And I have to get myself organized. This video was off the dome, honestly, so it's probably all over the place. I try to make it as concise as possible, but yeah, let me know any questions you guys have, and I'll answer them. And next video I'll send will be me using this build in ranked. And send me any requests for builds that you want me to make for like characters for JJK or anything like that. But yeah,